Will XRP have the month that everybody is thinking? We have the XRP ETFs waiting for approval. We have the CME Group. I'm going to break that down. And October is usually Uptober. Remember, first they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. Draper. Okay. We have speculation phase, we have adoption phase, and we have tokenization phase. You are now in regulation, moving from speculation into adoption, and you still got full tokenization. So we're going to break that down today. But the back end of this month and the back end of this year is going to be very, very exciting. But this channel is all about being stoic, being calm, creating a plan, and understanding one thing. Your job, I don't care what you invest in, your job is to beat inflation. Since 1913, the Federal Reserve, which is not federal nor they reserve, has collapsed your dollar 96 to 97%. And they're about to lower interest rates and print a shit load of money. And guess what that's going to do to your dollar? It's going to make it worth less. So that's all you need to understand. I don't care if you invest in gold. I don't care if you invest in silver. I don't care if you invest in Bitcoin, XRP. What I do care is that you're financially educated and you understand how to beat hurdle rates. That's all I'm doing. I'm a pretty simple dude. I follow systems in my spiritual life, my physical life, and my financial life. And on the back end, I break down my capital DR strategy, cash flow, into appreciating assets that have fixed supplies. When I profit, I calmly pull profits. I put it into protection. And I use protection to leverage. I use my Bitcoin to leverage to do what? To buy more cash flow because it is trash. And then I repeat the process, phase two, back into assets that have fixed supplies to go up over time, buy more leverage, and I keep the process going. That's all I'm doing. Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and Cash Flow Quadrant. It's discipline. It's consistency done for a long enough period of time. An idiot with a plan will always crush a genius, excuse me, with no plan. All right, so let's dive in. Sometimes I crack myself up. On the back end too, I'm also going to show you Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. I'm the co-founder and creator of that. And a lot of people are DMing me, how do I create a profit plan? I'm going to show you exactly how to do it on Merlin on the back end of this video, okay? So they call it October, okay? So take the emotion out of this, guys. We're 18 months after the Bitcoin halving. Naturally, after 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, okay, this is how it works, okay? In a natural market, let's take out Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, okay? Let's talk about markets. Sell in May, go away. June, July, August is usually funky. September is always funky in the markets. Here's why. People sell off. People go on summertime. They spend too much money on vacation. They might need to pull some profits in September because they spent too much money. Kids are going back to school. And then people start to make big financial decisions October, November, December. A lot of businesses wait to pay their taxes in October. So financial advisors are meeting with their people. There's a lot going on. And financial firms, I own a financial firm, a financial brokerage on our insurance side. On the fourth quarter is one of the greatest years for anything in the financial system, whether it's banks, whether it's investors, whether it's brokerage firms, whether it's insurance firms. We have a lot of people making financial decisions in fourth quarter. It's just how it works. And 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, which we're in it right now, is the time where you should be like, okay, this thing's going to go up. Do I have a plan? Are you going to hold? What are you going to do? Okay. Because it is going to go up and it'll come back down. I don't know how hard it's going to come back down in 2026. I don't know when it's going to come down in 2026, but there'll always be a bear market. Always. Okay. We still have adoption and full regulation, guys. Okay. So October, it's October. So you should see a very beautiful, a month this month, probably around Halloween, or maybe be trick-or-treating if you do that with your kids. And you'll probably see a very favorable portfolio. And then I remember sitting down in Thanksgiving in 2021. You're like, damn. But hey, this is why we have a plan. If it goes up, I calmly take profits. If it goes down, I buy the fear. That's it. I don't wait for October. I don't wait for November. I have a strict plan, which I'll break down in the back end of every video. Okay, this is important, guys. New CME Group will soon launch around-the-clock trading for cryptocurrency futures and options. This expansion gives traders access to crypto markets nearly 24/7, extending beyond the traditional U.S. trading hours. Okay, so this is a CME Group's website. Options for Solana and XRP futures. Complement your future strategy with XRP and Solana options launching on October 13th. Okay, so this shows it right here, the latest across the cryptocurrency options complex. On October 13th, they have pending regulatory review for Solana, XRP. You got Ether in here. We already have Bitcoin. I think these would be options. Yeah, so Bitcoin. Yep, options complex. So they already have Bitcoin right here in Ether. My point behind this is how I make my investments, guys. They're not going to be doing these types of things as XRP is going to zero. Just stop with the people flooding you out and creating fear. XRP is going to be here. Solana is going to be here. Bitcoins. That's how I make my decisions. I make my decision on what big financial institutions are doing, not what a Riddler is saying on a social media platform. Okay, you got to do it on facts, figures, numbers, logic. So why is this important? Okay, it's going to increase liquidity, tighter spreads, and deeper markets. It's going to increase volatility around expirations and rollovers. There's going to be better risk management, hedging for traders and institutions, potential for more refined volatility, trading spreads, and exotic options strategies, greater alignment with traditional financial derivatives market, increased correlation effects, and contagion risk across crypto markets, regulation, margining, risk controls become more important. Okay, so this is the stuff that you're looking at here. The whole system's moving into TradFi's, moving into crypto. Crypto's moving into TradFi, which is traditional finance. Okay, we've brought this up. We'll keep this on the radar here. We got October 18th, 19th, 20th, 23rd, 25th, and November 14th. So who knows? We'll see the back end. Grayscale, like again, let's just use logic. Okay, why would Grayscale be creating a Grayscale XRP ETF? They have one of the biggest ETFs in Bitcoin, right? They're in the top 5 holders in Bitcoin through their ETF. Why would they create an XRP ETF if they thought it was going away? If it's not a viable asset that people are going to add to their portfolios, okay? That's why the person who can stay in the market the longest becomes the wealthiest. The person who is not market sensitive will win the biggest. If you're looking at your portfolio every day, you're over leveraged, you're over positioned. Okay. If you're literally banking on this is it, this is all you got, right? Then you're over leveraged, you're over exposed. Excuse me. You have to read the books on the wealthiest people in the world. Okay. Get in what you can afford to lose. Okay. Believe in it long term and hold the line. Then you need liquidity. And I'll explain to you what I do with liquidity on the back end. Okay. This is where I'm talking about tokenization. Securitize, we know they have the relationship with Ripple through the BlackRock Build Fund. Tokenized assets on securities surged past 4 billion, reaching a new all-time high. We are unifying? I have no idea how to say that. Somebody correct me. Unifying global finance on chain. Unifying. Good Lord, JB. Good Lord. Dyslexia. Bad dyslexia. We are unifying. It's all good, man. Anyways, global finance on chain and the world's largest tokenized platform. That's amazing. Look at that. All right. So bullish. Robinhood CEO Vald Tenez says tokenization is an unstoppable freight train set to become the default for global stock access and reshape the financial system. All right. So let's dive right in. Let's take a look at the markets. This is Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. This is how I use Merlin. I am the co-founder and creator of it. Go to my bio, click the link. You can download it 30 days for free. Try it before you buy it. I'm going to show you the 3 top functionalities and why we created this. We did 38,000 lines of code to create this. Now, first of all, this does not hold your keys, your crypto. This is not an investment. This is the best crypto tracker in the world. It's the smartest way to track your crypto. Check this out. You can see the markets in a snapshot. So you don't have to go on your exchanges and put yourself at risk in Wi-Fi's. You can see everything in one place. I can see the BTCs at 120. I can see the top 3. You got ETH at 4,400, XRP at $3. I can see the Bitcoin dominance right here. I can see the total market caps over 4 trillion now. I can see the top cryptos here. And then I go to, this is our demo account. You go to assets here. Okay, I can see my total gain. I can see my daily gain. I can see my daily gains and losses, and I can see all my assets in one place, transactions, exchanges. So I don't have to go on funky Wi-Fi's or things like that. Nobody can hack your crypto on here. It's data. It's an interface, not an exchange. Okay. You don't buy and sell crypto on here. You can't sell your crypto on here. You set up an exit plan and we send you an alert. So that's number 1, is keeping your crypto safe from funky Wi-Fi's, right? Number 2, it's exit plans. Boom. Click on here. you can set up an exit plan and we send you an alert when you're getting close. You can spend time with your family, touch grass. You don't have to be staring at the market every 5 seconds. You can actually be present with your family. Not only can you set up an exit plan, but it's super detailed. Like this is a 50-50 plan, right? 15%. If you're going to exit 50% at $3.70, we're going to exit 15% at $7.15. This is an example. It tells you exactly how many tokens. Okay. Then based on your entry of your tax professional, what your tax rate is, it'll tell you what your tax liabilities are. Okay. So that's number 3. And number 4, check this out. Well, the markets, number 3. That was number 2. Number 3 is the markets and your daily news, guys. Your news is based on your top holdings. How cool is that? Okay. So how do you get started? You go to my bio, you click the link. It's 30 days for free. Like I said, I am the co-founder and creator of this. Very proud of this app that we have created. You can go here. These are all the exchanges you can interface with. How-to videos. Okay. We teach you how to create a profit-taking plan. And boom, we have the greatest customer service. We actually have physical customer service. You can talk to a human being. Isn't that pretty cool? Okay, you got your FAQs here, how to connect assets. We have all the how-to videos. But this is good to keep you organized, to keep you structured, and to teach you how to play the game. And so why do I take profits? Let me share with you. So I focus on what's called CAPL DR. It's the strategy that I created. It's cash flow into deflationary assets that have fixed supplies, okay, that can't be printed like the US dollar. I go into protection when I profit, okay, and then I use leverage very smartly on the asset side to buy more cash flow to create phase 2, okay. Then DR, DR, DR. I de-risk anything that's high risk, high return. I pull and I put it into XRP and Bitcoin. Let me explain. Let's go in my top 6 cryptos. XRP. Oh, I did that. XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, XLM, WLFI, HBAR, and VeChain. I have many other cryptos. I'm going to consolidate into the top 3, which is XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. I've learned through wisdom and studying Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. You don't need a million different cryptos, 100 here, 500 here. You need to be concentrated. You need to be diversified inside and out of asset classes, and your job is to create cash flow, okay, and to beat inflation. So that's my portfolio. So in the last bull run, when we took profits, okay, that's why we created Merlin. When we took profits, as everybody was trying to get rich quick, we pulled on the way up. I laddered out on the way up. Okay, I held 50%. I didn't get all the 50% out. Okay, this year I will if it hits the targets. Okay, let's put Bitcoin in leverage. We're not touching Bitcoin. We're gonna use it as a bank. It's a supercharged savings for me. Okay, as it goes up, my cash flow. I bought cash flow. I created businesses. And then I got into the dividend market like Warren Buffett. Now, I should cautiously say that because I'm using high risk dividends that are options, synthetic options that are paying me a large amount of money on my money, and I'm de-risking out as fast as possible. Okay. I only put 10% of my portfolio. So I have cash coming in from my companies that I created cash flow. I'm on the bottom right side of the quadrant. I'm still obviously trading time for money. I have companies, I have 6 companies. But my point is, I scaled the companies. Now I get paid by my companies. Okay. I take 10%, I put it into dividends that pay me what? More cash. Okay. Outside of debts and non-negotiables, I store my wealth in XRP or my excess capital in XRP and Bitcoin. Now that feels good to me. What I mean by assets that beat inflation, assets that grow over time, assets that have fixed supplies, assets that have scarcity. It could be gold, it could be silver. I use XRP and Bitcoin is where I store my excess capital. I have liquidity to it. I can access it. My XRP went up 800% and my Bitcoin went up 200%. Now that's what I feel comfortable with. Okay. You decide what type of asset you feel comfortable with. Okay. Some people are very, like gold and silver. That's great. It holds value. It's growing over time. It's extremely undervalued. Some people store it in real estate. What I'm saying is your job is to beat inflation. Okay. If inflation is 3% every year and you have $1 million in 26 years, your purchasing power of $1 million will need $2.1 million. If you don't beat inflation every year, you become poor. Okay. So I'm moving my hard-earned money into things that grow over time that go like this. It might look like this in the short term. Well, like October and November, December, it's going to go up. Okay. So then I'm going to have a liquidity event. I take some off the table. I move it into P, protection. I use cash value life insurance. We use them properly. They need to be funded properly. They need to have cash in them to work. Okay. The problem with the industry is people are using them. They're preaching their retirement policies. They're cash value life insurance policies. They have to be funded properly. Okay. You want to minimize the death benefit to maximize the living benefit. Okay. Obviously, the more cash you put into these things, the higher the death benefit needs to be. But what's happening and why the business, the industry gets a bad rap is agents are setting up these policies with huge death benefits, and there's zero benefit because there's no cash being built in them. Okay. Do you see how I use it? I get liquidity and I put cash in them. Couple reasons why. Okay. Remember, I'm all about protection and I'm all about protecting my wealth and beating inflation. Okay. I'm over here. I have insured principal now. Okay. I profited, cash flow profited, insured principal now. But the beautiful thing about this, yes, there's a cost of insurance, but I'm crushing the hurdle rate. I can borrow against this money now from the insurance company at 5%, around 5%. So if I put in 100K around the first year, obviously different policies, different companies, I can borrow about 60,000 of that. So imagine if I put in 100K for my profit, I borrow 60,000 at 5%. If Bitcoin's growing 50% every single year, and I put that 60,000 now in Bitcoin, I just multiplied my money, crushing the hurdle rate by 45%. The cool thing about insurance is I don't have to pay that back. It comes off my death benefit, but I would like to pay the interest, right? But when next bull run, when it goes up, I pay off the loan. And guess what? Now I had borrowed money, other people's money, to buy Bitcoin. Okay. That's when you go into leverage. So Bitcoin, remember, I moved it over to leverage. So I use Bitcoin and I use insurance as my bank. Okay. So what I do now is I'll give you an example actually today, which is very exciting. I'm very proud of this. Okay. We use Bitcoin, and I used Bitcoin because I wanted to practice what I preach. I want to be an authentic person and be like, this is what I did so I can teach this. Okay. I'm an educator. Okay. I don't invest people's money. I educate people on how to understand hurdle rates and things like that. Okay. So listen, I took Bitcoin. We were connected to an IMO. It's like one of those big models where you're, a bunch of insurance agents, and it wasn't our style. It didn't fit our style. We wanted to have our own firm. We wanted to have a small little mom pa like boutique. Just a different model, right? We wanted to concentrate on teaching people how to use these properly. And so we moved into our own brokerage, right? So I needed to get money to start my own brokerage. So I went to my Bitcoin. I went to my CFO and COO, and I said, hey, listen, I want to use the Bitcoin. So I went to my Bitcoin. I pulled it over to a lending platform called Salt. They've been around for a long time. So I, did my due diligence. On Salt, I borrowed, okay, so say you have the liquidity. Okay, this is important. Okay, this is DeFi. Now you have to have the Bitcoin to do it, but I moved it over and I borrowed what I needed for the firm at 14%. So they gave me 70% LTV of the amount I needed. So whatever I needed, I did the 70% LTV. I borrowed at 14. They gave me cash. They gave me their money at 14%. So I owe them 14% back. Okay, you owe them a payment back at 14%. So they're saying, hey, we're going to give you cash at 14%, but we're going to hold your Bitcoin until you pay that back. Cool. Now, here's the thing. Why would I do that? Well, number one, I'm buying something that's generating cash. It was already generating cash flow. I wouldn't do it on my digital asset, and I'll never leverage over 25% of my digital assets, okay, because it's volatile. This is important. So I leveraged 25% of my digital assets. I got the liquidity I needed. I bought the firm. Okay, firm is making money, so it's paying the loan back. Okay, now today, the loan is hitting. It'll be completely paid off. So look what I just did. If Bitcoin grows on average 50% every single year, I made 36% on my own money. I paid them 14, but Bitcoin grew 50%. I made 36% of my money. I'm the bank. Okay. So now the loan's paid off. It'll be back to 100% LTV. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take another loan. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin. I'm going to do a 25% leverage on their very low margin, right? On my overall portfolio, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin because I believe it's going to go up on the back end of this year. And then I'm going to take the profit. I'm going to pay off that loan. And I bought more Bitcoin by leveraging and beating the hurdle rate. Now, insurance becomes magical for us. We can borrow at 5%, crushing the hurdle rate with zero liquidation risk. There's no liquidation risk because on the loan side, it comes off my death benefit. I believe truly in my heart, we use it. It is the greatest way. I love insurance. I think it's one of the greatest tools if used properly. There's a lot of people driving a Lamborghini with regular gas in it. We're actually using these. We actually use them to leverage to buy wealth. Another thing, like for example, my partner, her and I combined with our family, we have quite a few policies. And she's okay with me sharing this. She borrowed from her policy. Okay, she stuffs cash into her policies. She borrowed from her policy. She took a 5% loan. She went over and bought a cash generating dividend that would crush the hurdle rate. Okay. So now she took it 5%. She bought a cash generating dividend. That dividend pays off the loan super fast because it's crushing the hurdle rate. Well, guess what? When the loan's paid off in a couple months, she now has free cash flow over here at zero risk. Doesn't matter if the option collapses or whatever it is. You know, it's an option, a synthetic option that's connected to Coinbase and MicroStrategies, right? It doesn't matter if it collapses because it's free cash flow. Now she has free cash flow coming in. So the difference in what we're doing is we're in position number one. When you put your money into a bank, okay, what do? They lend it out. They put it in the capital markets, right? They make money in three ways: interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. All we're doing is we really, really disciplined and consistent put our money into digital assets and things that would appreciate over time. You don't have to do digital assets. We did. We had a liquidity event. We were really responsible. And so we built an ecosystem. We created more cash flow. We used insurance. And then once we had cash value, we started leveraging. We started buying more cash to pay it off. We always pay off our leverage. So does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And now I have a whiteboard that I got, the Vibe board, and we're actually going to be setting up more cameras in here. And I'm going to start doing once a week whiteboard presentations. And I'm actually going to schematic all this out for you guys. And I'm going to show you guys. I want to help as many human beings as possible. Okay. That is my goal. Now, if you need more help, you can go to my education section on this channel. I do whiteboarding on there, but I bought a Vibe board. So we're going to actually set up multiple cameras. We're also getting our podcast studio all finished up right now. We're going to start doing big interviews with high level financial people. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, if you do need more support too, because I'm getting tons of, we're trying so hard to keep up with the messages. Okay. In the description of this video on my social media platform, you can join me in my education platform, right? Where I take you step by step through my capital DR cash flow. I show you my cash flow strategies, my appreciation, my portfolio, right? We're educators. We do not invest people's crypto. We show you the whole ecosystem. So we're empowering you to think differently, to make better decisions, to learn how to beat inflation. That's what we do. We have over 13,000 people since 2020. We have 3,000 active people in there on a daily basis. It's one of the largest crypto communities in the world, and it continues to build. And I wouldn't even call it a crypto community anymore. That's what it started as. It's a financial literacy community of people who are like-minded. Also have my revolutionary 120-day challenge to help you get your shit together. Men, you need to be in there. And it's about 60-40 split, 60% men, 40% women. And it's about average age group 35 to 70. All are welcome. And I hope to help. That's my main goal. Right. I'm really committed to what I'm good at this. I'm very good at explaining, taking complex models and finances. I always say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm not calling, just hear me out. An idiot with a plan, and trust me, with wisdom, is much more dangerous than a genius with no plan. What I'm really good at is being disciplined and consistent and following patterns and teaching other people the simplistic nature of doing that. That's what I'm really good at. My strategy works. Okay. I went from broke on my parents' couch to reading The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Cash Flow Quadrant. And I built a system. I read the book and I built a system and I fed it. Right. And we became 7-figure investors. We became 7-figure entrepreneurs. And now we're going to do it again 2 times over. And then we're going to do it again. It's just a system. That's all it is. I learned that everything's a wave of energy. I'm zero emotion about this stuff. And the fact is, if it all goes to zero, I'm still the happiest man in the world. You know why? Because I love God. God is my fuel. God is what feeds me. Okay. I have an amazing, amazing, beautiful family. That's my number one priority outside of God. I have a wonderful ecosystem that would never let me fall. We don't let each other fall because we protect each other, and we protect our ecosystem at all costs. And guess what? I stay out of other men's business. I'm too busy working on mine. So if all of it collapsed, I'm still the richest man in the world. And I appreciate you guys very much. I probably don't say that enough. I'm very, very grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful. It makes me emotional, man. I'm very grateful. If you're here right now, I just want to say thank you. And I want to tell you, I love you. I don't take this for granted. And it's been a journey building this ecosystem. We've been at this since 2017. We've been at this grinding since 2017. We've been posting nonstop since 2017. We went from posting 3 to 4 times a day to 10 times a day. Now we post almost 18 times a day across I don't know how many my team puts it across. You know, we do thousands of hours of pieces of content a week, and our goal is to help. I know what I'm good at. I'm good at teaching people financial literacy, and I'm going to stay in my lane. And I hope that someday I get to meet you. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I appreciate you. Warriors, let's get your shit together. God bless you.